We all know how important networking is. The rule that your network is your net worth is a very established rule. The biggest fear that all of us have before you start networking is that I would fail in it. In this video, I'm going to tell you what are the biggest mistakes I have made in networking, or let me call them fears, and how I have aced them. A lot of these fears you will find resemblance to, and I'm going to give you a solution as to how to beat them. So let's understand as to what were the biggest fears I had about networking and how I aced it. I'm Swati Singhania and we are unlocking financial literacy for you guys here and also telling you how to become super great networkers. Now, the first and the most important mistake that I did was I never understood the importance of networking. I wish that there was a subject in my school or college telling me about how important networking is. I have been working since 2002, so that basically means I have a work experience of almost 18 years. But I actually started networking, let's say about 7-8 years back. So that means a very big chunk of my work tenure was left without networking. I was never focused on making contacts. I was never focused, or let's say I never understood that my colleagues or my seniors or my customers and the clients I was working with could actually become a great pool or source of contact in the later point of my life. It's only when I started in my business that I realized, oh, I need a network to make it successful. And I have made that business successful, or at least I like to believe that. And networking has been a very critical role in it. So I really wish I understood the importance of networking. Now let me briefly tell you as to when should you start networking. You should start networking as soon as you are out of college, especially if you are planning to get into a job. Because by the time you are in college, you have probably established the specialty you will be taking. What career choice are you planning to take? Though if you've still not figured out your career choice and you want to take time to it, then you have a little bit of time before you start networking. Now, if you are planning to get into business, the networking for business starts much ahead before you start your business. Because the day you start business, the clock starts ticking. Your costs are already up, your employees are already asking for salaries, your capital is already needing interest. So if you are planning to get into business, your networking should start much before you are planning to establish your business, because you would need a set of customers as soon as you start business. Now, if you are planning to do freelancing for a while, and if you think you don't want to get into a job or a full-fledged business as of now, what is the specialization of freelancing that you're planning to do? Pick up that specialization and understand where can you get more like-minded people about it. So all these three segments, which is job, freelancing, and business, would require different forms of networking, and that is a full-fledged video in itself. But this is when you should start networking. And please don't make the mistake that I did of starting late. Start early as possible when it comes to networking. Now let me introduce to my second biggest fear of networking. And this is attached to a word called judgment. The fact that people are going to judge me was my biggest fear when I started networking. I always thought that they will judge me and they will consider me very low in the whole chain of networking, because I had started then and I had all the confidence flaws that a startup entrepreneur would have. I knew I had a great idea, I knew I had to make it work, but I was not sure how to. And obviously I was also meeting people who were much ahead in that entrepreneur journey. So I always thought that they are going to judge me. But what I realized was that God has only made one of me, and God has only made one of you. So stop the fear of judgment and don't ever let that fear grow on you. Remember, your element and your shine doesn't come from the work that you do. It comes from your personality. And your personality would have one particular trait that no one in that room would have. So pick up that personality trait of yours and highlight that and shine on that, because that is what is going to make you shine in that room, and that is all you need for you to create your space in any networking event. Now, the attached mistake to this was that I also started judging people. I never realized that I could be so judgy or judgmental, but I started judging people. And it took me about 1 to 2 years to realize that, okay, I have also become this person that I didn't want to. And I started working on these judgmental traits of mine. So, what really are the identifiers of it? When you meet people, you start deciding in your mind that it is going to be of use to me or not. Yes, there will be a little bit of judgment, but then you cannot cancel that person altogether because you think that he's not wearing the correct clothes, or you think he's not talking the correct language, or you think that he's not in the correct business. Every time I talk of this particular trait, I can remember this one person who I judged because I think that he was not wearing the correct and apt clothes for that particular networking event. But let me tell you, he actually became one of my biggest customers for the next 2 years because he was then making a hotel and he started buying a lot of stuff from us. Now, this is how I learned to overcome this judgmental trait of mine. And most of you may also be doing this without knowing. So it is important that you understand that you've got into this judgmental trap and get over it, because this is the third biggest mistake, as per me, that any one of us can do at networking events. This is going to cut your cord with that person, and at times if that person senses that you are not giving them that respective value that they deserve, they are not going to come back to you and they are not going to pick up your calls even if you are in the dire need of help. So remember this, don't fear being judged, shine on your element, and never judge people. Let them be who they are, because you never know which one of that person that you met is going to help you in your journey of achieving your dreams. Now, the fourth, and I am sure you will agree with me, is that we land up being nervous. Every time, even today, when I'm about to enter a room filled with 50 or 100 people, most of which I don't know, I have butterflies. Not only butterflies, I think I have cats and dogs in my stomach. And I feel, let me just run away. This is my last moment. Let me just take a backward step. Let me just turn around and run away. I don't need people. I don't want to meet people. But remember, this is what we all feel when we are entering the room. So all those 100 people, most of them are having the same feeling. So if you remember this, that the amount of nervousness I have is the same exact amount of nervousness everyone in that room will have. This is going to bring down your nervousness to very, very low levels, and that has helped me survive. And every time I make a mistake, it's not that I don't land up saying wrong things, or it's not that I don't remember the person I met because I met him 2 months back or 2 years back. I do apologize. I am human. Now that brings me to the next mistake, which all of us do, that we pick up a cloak when we are going to any networking event. We are most of the times not genuine. We think that if we are going into that room, I have to claim myself to be successful. I have to say, oh, I have so much bad money in my bank account that I don't need you. But in reality, you need that order. So it is not about that you telling them that, sir, I need your order. It is more about, sir, I would love to work with you, and your order will obviously help my company grow to the next level. And I would like to show you how can I deliver best the products that you're wanting and add value to your company. There are such different versions of the same. But if you completely cloak up and say, hey, just decide if you want to give me the order or not, because ultimately it's for your benefit and for not my benefit, it is not going to work out. So it is very important that we are genuine and we are ourselves. Remember, there's only one of you. So be genuine whenever you are going to these networking events. Say if you don't know about that particular topic. If someone talks about politics, and I am not a great fan of politics, I always say I don't follow politics so much. But if I can always add a little bit to the conversation if it's really needed, but I don't have strong opinions to it. So this is what I am, and this is what my genuinity is. So if someone decides to judge me that I don't talk about politics so much, they are free to. Because remember, I have already tried to get over the judgmental fear, because that was the first fear I dealt with. So these are the top 5 mistakes of fear that I have done in my networking journey of the past 7-8 years. And I thought, let me share this with you guys so that you can learn from it, and maybe this is going to help you become better networkers. Do tell me which of these fears you find resemblance with, and also tell me how did that networking event went when you have copied the idea that I just shared with you. I will love to hear about your networking events. Do not forget to write it in the comment below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, because your support is all we are looking for. See you guys in the next video.